Tyler, you said something a minute ago that like put me down this thought of how we could shake up the podcast a little bit, like today and going forward. But you know, the question, what are you struggling with right now? And if I were to ask you right now, like, what are you struggling with? What would your response be?
I think like balancing time
Mm-hmm.
right now, like there's so many opportunities. We have a lot going on with the podcast, with the summit, work coming up, customers for like tool belt contracting work, and finding the balance, like finding a balance that I can basically live in both worlds and still feel that I'm giving everything 100%. I think that that's my struggle because it was always business first,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the social or the teaching and the events, that side of things, like the media side of things, was completely separate. And then I said that I wanted to switch and spend more time on social and the podcast and everything else. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take 1 day a week to be in the office. And then within a year, it's like I can't spend enough time in the office,
Mm-hmm.
which makes the work side of things challenging, where it's like I have to leave my doors open for opportunities to grow this side of it. But doing that, there's certain jobs that I can't do and certain jobs that I can't start.
Yeah.
So I think right now is like leaving myself open enough to continue to do the things that I'm doing and travel while finding a sweet spot as far as jobs go that I can make them happen and get to my return customers and everything else. So I'd say that that's my biggest challenge right now.
Yeah.
How about you?
What am I struggling with right now? I am struggling with right now the similar to what you just said, but I'll rephrase it in my side. I'm struggling with the fact that we have enormous opportunity in front of us that doesn't seem to be happening as fast as I would like. And I'm struggling with balancing my emotions of how I feel right now and how I eventually will feel. And I think all of it is rooted in that I have too much going on. And the reason I'm reluctant to give it up is because I am fearful that I will let people down. And that is something that has been, I feel like I've understood that for a while. When I had my SWAT, which you participated in, that was brought to my attention like directly, like, Nick, you have too many irons in the fire.
Yeah.
And when I sat down with some of my team, they verbatim said, Nick, you have too many irons in the fire. And I had a phone call with a good friend of mine this week, and I said, hey, I've always really appreciated your advice when it comes to business. Can we chat? And he said, you have too many irons in the fire. And then yesterday, I had a business coaching session, and he ended my call with, Nick, you have too many irons in the fire. And I don't know why. I guess I do know why. I know why I feel as though I don't want to give stuff up, because I see opportunity in all of them, and I don't want to let anyone down. And most of the time I don't want to let myself down. And I fear that if I don't take advantage of an opportunity, that I will have passed on the one opportunity that will, quote unquote, change my life. And last night, I not just last night, but like for the last few weeks, I've been thinking like, there isn't one of those. It is. And my friend that I spoke to this week said it. He's like, if you remove emotion from everything that you're doing, and you were given a blank piece of paper, or you were starting completely fresh, what would you do every single day? Like, remove emotion from it. Like, what is going to award you the life? And it's not far from what I'm doing, but it made me realize that all of these extracurricular activities that I might be part of are wonderful for maybe helping the industry or helping a particular product or helping a particular company, but they're not actually fulfilling my desire.
Yeah.
And I started writing down what I wanted to focus on. And, you know, a lot of it had to do with building really cool fucking projects. And then I started questioning, are we building the projects that we want? Do we have the team that we want? And I do think that we are, and we do. And then it was this podcast. And, you know, I don't know how many years ago, like there was a few years ago that I wasn't enjoying the podcast as much, but nowadays I feel like I'm enjoying it more and more because it gives me an outlet to share something like this, but it also awards me the opportunity to connect with so many great people. And frankly, it's awarded the opportunity to host events and, you know, and now, you know, you and I have individually spoken to people on these consulting calls, and I know you were asked and I was asked, it's like, can't you guys just put together some information, some coursework, so like we can kind of dig into how you guys run things? And I mean, that was the premise behind the summit, before you were involved, and now that you are involved. But, you know, now we're launching a course, and I think that I was texting with you earlier about it. Like, that's super exciting because now that's something that we've worked for weeks on. That is, I mean, I was actually looking at it yesterday. I'm like, there's a lot of content here.
I know.
Like, almost to the point where I'm like, should this have been more than one course? But now that's something that we can give to the industry, and they can take it at the pace that they want and learn how we've done things. Like, I mean, specifically, like this one is on pre-construction, something you and I have been preaching since we started. And to be able to like package that up and like, here's what it is, here's how you do it, here's how you sell it, and here's what it can do for your business. I'm excited to see the reaction to that. And I'm excited to keep kind of giving back in a way that is, you know, residual.